Stand by for action.
Thanks, gentlemen. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part one of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mumblet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin.
It was the Anglo-American alliance that stood up and fought the tyranny which you hate. So did Norway. So did Denmark. So did the Scandinavians as well, who stood up and fought.
What do you think of Sweden?
Sweden was neutral.
What do you think of Sweden?
I think if people had been neutral against Hitler, Hitler would have won.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. I hope, indeed I pray, that we shall not be found unworthy of our victory if after toil and tribulation it is granted to us. For the rest, we have to gain the victory. That is our task. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its commonwealths last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
We shall not fail or falter, we shall not weaken or tire. Neither the sudden shock of battle nor the long-drawn trials of vigilance and exertion will wear us down. Give us the tools, and we will finish the job.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Good evening and welcome to the English Defence League radio show, broadcasting live on blogtalkradio.com. The English Defence League radio show, the truth and the voice of the EDL. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the banner of the show is English Defence League radio show Narratives. Welcome to the English Defence League radio show with your host, Jeff Spider Mitchell, and my wingman for this evening is Dave Agador Milner. Tonight we will be discussing narratives, the true facts shared by the people, and the false claims of the Islamic death cult and its henchmen in government and the fake stream media. You will hear current news items, and we will show you how the brightest rat woke culture packages hide the dark agenda. Those narratives had destroyed lives. The truth is here. No surrender ever. All that is necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing. And that was by the late great Edmund Burke. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. And that was by the late great President John F. Kennedy. And without further ado, let me bring on, as he's doing a quick, smooth run under biscuit barrel as he's come through the door, is my wingman and my dear friend and colleague, Dave Agador Milner. Good evening, good afternoon, Dave, and welcome.
Good evening to you, Jeff. Good evening to everybody in the UK. Good afternoon to everybody in the States. Hello to everybody around the world. And, of course, off Earth, yes. We have got quite the show. Did you ever feel like, and this is for the listeners, did you ever feel like a refugee in your own country? Well, we're going to demonstrate a little for you tonight and today how that can be a thing. And we're going to do it with a little bit of help from some news items that we found.
We can do a little bit of help from our friends. Sorry, Dave, sorry.
That's right, Jeff. Well,
I couldn't resist
certainly from one of our very good friends right at the start, Jeff. Yeah, the first two items, actually the first three items we're going to have are going to be from Tommy Robinson, who, among other accomplishments, founded the English Defense League, and these items have to do. Well, the first one has to do with a lawsuit that was against him now, or is against him now. If you want to go looking for this, guys, what you're going to want to go do is go to tr.news and look for Supporting the Truth, okay? And there's also a link to Supporting the Truth on our show page, so you can definitely check that out. If you go to blogtalkradio.com, it's a direct link, or as I said, you can just go to tr.news, and you will see quite a few items there. Okay, that would be the thing to do. Now, we're going to run these items
and
here,
also,
guys.
He's an author. Please look for his book, Enemy of the State. He's got a couple of books, so please check it out, because any money he raises will go towards what Dave is discussing now. So I just want to put that, Dave, out there to the great listeners out there. That it's a good book, it's a good read, and it tells you about the persecution of a man who loves his country. Go on, Dave. Sorry, mate. I just had to say that, mate. I had to say it.
Well, yes, that's among them, and also a book of his that's been banned, but you still can find it, is Muhammad's Quran. Now, we're going to run this first one, Jeff. When you're ready, it's 4 minutes and 16 seconds long. So when you're ready, we're going to run this first one, and it has to do with the lawsuit that is currently pending against Mr. Robinson. It's a civil suit, and I think you'll find this very interesting, particularly when we get to the other two segments. So you ready for this first one, brother?
Yes, go ahead, Dave.
All right, here we go. You guys are listening to the English Defense League radio show. Here we go.
So, as you may be aware, I've been in court today. I'm facing a libel case. The judge has agreed fees. She's knocked them down £100,000. So currently, their legal fees will add up to £346,000. My legal fees will be £200,000, and then the libel case is over £100,000. Okay? £650,000. So if I lose this case, I'll be charged £650,000, which will give them the ability to seize my home, which shows exactly what this is about. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, and they've found the next way. And the next way now is going to be throwing me through the legal system, charging me hundreds of thousands of pounds. People have supported me throughout. I was told and advised to offer £50,000 to Jamal and to make an apology. To apologise for telling the truth. Well, so I refused to do that, based on principle. What I said was the truth. Why should we hide the truth? If you want to support my battle, the reason why it's going to become a battle is there are vulnerable children involved in this case. My witnesses who are willing to come to court are vulnerable children. They're willing to tell the truth. A young girl who was assaulted by Jamal is willing to come to court and explain that she was assaulted by Jamal. The problem we have, if you remember when Jamal's lawyer, Mohammed Akunji is the lawyer who's been trying to get Shamina Begum and representing ISIS terrorists and bring them back into our country. Shamina Begum's lawyer sent an extremist to my children's home. He live streamed it, so watch this part of the video where you will see him handing over my children's address to an extremist who then went to my children's home and let everyone know where they live, put their lives in danger. Watch this video.
I was then contacted and asked if I would be interested in doing this. I'm still not 100% sure why, and I don't really fully believe this is happening. But that's basically, I've never done anything like this before. This is not, it's a career I can suddenly get into. For clarity on what you're doing, so you're going to be live streaming. It will be live streamed. I'm not in charge of the filming or anything like that. That's down to the guys over here. I'm literally just here to go up to Tommy's address, to ring on the bell. If anyone answers or replies, inform them of this. And if they come and get it, they get it. If they don't, I leave it there for them, and then we walk away. And this is sitting for him when he gets back from wherever he is at the moment.
Now here you can see that man threatening to murder my children.
He loves it. He loves it. And on that note, on that happy note. Oh, by the way, Tommy, I am gonna mince your kids, mate.
Now I have a situation here where I have young children, vulnerable children, who are willing to give evidence in a court case. I need to protect them, so I need to make sure the court makes sure their addresses and their names are kept secret. Because I've seen the consequence that happens when people turn up at your house. Bailey, the child in this case, had to leave his hometown. His young 11-year-old sisters began self-harming. Bailey tried to kill himself. I've seen the consequences. I'm not going to put these children in danger. I will refuse to give the addresses of those children to the same lawyer, because he's proved he is incapable of holding data. He's proved he will put children and families at risk. If you want to support this fight, because it's going to become a fight, I'm not going to give in on it. I'm not going to roll over on it. Not when it's the truth, and I know I can prove in court it's the truth, but then I'll still lay myself at the hands of a judge. To get to that position is going to cost £200,000. If you want to support me, please go to www.supportingthetruth.com. I appreciate every second of it. I don't want to roll over. I don't want to apologise for telling the truth. I principle myself on telling the truth, on being the other side of the story. So please support me if you can. This is their next way of trying to just smash the legs off me. So please fight it.
And there you go, Jeff. Your comment, sir.
Well, it is, as I say, because Tommy is Tommy, and they're doing everything they possibly can to crush Tommy's thoughts about things, discussing the evilness that's going on across this country where children's concerned. And when he speaks out, he does what he does because he's such a big figure. People around the world know Tommy, and they're doing anything to try to crush the man. They've done it from day one, basically. As soon as Tommy removed his face covering that time, I think he knew what he was going to let himself in for. I don't think he realised that the extent of the problems that would happen after that he did that. He would have probably thought twice about removing that mask at that time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all of a sudden you put your toe in the water, you wiggle it about. Oh, it's a bit cold, but I'm going in. And unfortunately, if only Tommy would have kept wiggling his toe about a little bit, because it's left his family, it's left him open to the state to attack him. Not only the state, but the the evilness that lives within. We got a power structure within a state, and that goes hand in hand with the establishment and the elitists out there to bring down anybody that speaks out against their terrible narrative of the way that people are treated in this country. And that's what we see. I mean, and am I surprised about this court case and the money that's involved? I'm not shocked one iota. I mean, I knew it was coming. I think most of us did, because this is it. If they can't shut you up, they hit you in your pocket financially. This is what the evil ones do. That's why they have the power to do it. And the power structure and the evilness within, they have got that ability. Tommy is like many of us. We fight our own battles. No one stands in the fights our battles. Tommy's one of those who puts his feet forward and he goes forth and he fights the good fight. And it will be recognised in a day, a while away. There will be talk of the time what Tommy had to endure. Stories will be written of this time, and the persecution just not of Tommy, but many others. Many others out there. We got a lady languishing in prison this moment in time. It's basically the key's been thrown away, Melanie Shaw, because she speaks out. She tells the truth. She's a whistleblower, and they banged her away because she would have exposed the dark ones, them ones out there who do the most disgusting acts against children and think that they're above any law. And a lot of the time they are. The reason being, ladies and gentlemen, is that those in power and those in judgment are involved in these evil crimes themselves. Can you see how dark what people like Tommy, people like ourselves, the EDL, we're up against? This is it. It's an upward fight, and it's a fight that we cannot afford to give up. Never. We must never surrender. And Tommy, he can't. He can't back up. He can't say, once he has made an apology about it. But what he said was the truth. How can you lie against yourself? That's unacceptable. You can't do that. You just can't do that. But that's my thoughts of things. I do feel for Tommy and his family. He's got a lovely family, and trying to do what's right for your kids, trying to do what's right for other children across the country. In the eyes of the dark ones, Tommy goes against their narrative, because he should be like a lot of others who don't turn away and pretend it's not happening. But Mr. Tommy Robinson is not one of those. Tommy will go, he will find what's going on, and he will expose how evil and dark it is. So, of course, we must all support Mr. Robinson and his crusade of what he's doing. He's an honourable man. He's an honourable man, and that is what, when he formed EDL, just look at our mission statement. We're honourable people. My people, they're thugs from this, that. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody knows me, listen to me on a radio show, I'm not a thug. Far from it. I'm a loving, caring man. And I do love and care for my country. But because I do, I've become an outsider. What's the word? I can't remember the word that they call us, that we go against their narrative, but I can't be I'm a rebel with a cause. And they can stuff themselves, because all the time I'm on this earth, I will speak out against the injustice that's going on across my country. I love my country. Born and bred my country. Go back generations, of course I love them. Will do anything for my country. But it's an absolutely travesty of justice what they're trying to do to Mr. Robinson. And people like Tommy Robinson, we know there's many patriots that's in prison, not just like Tommy was, but there's many others out there. People you don't really hear about simply because they're not, highlighted as much as what we see with Tommy. But anyway, Dave, that's my thoughts. As I say, once again, another thing trying to bring Mr. Robinson down. Trying to take his home away from him.
All right. Well, Jeff, obviously, there's nothing there I can disagree with, and it's typical. Any move he makes, they'll either try and imprison him or they'll try and make him go broke, him and his supporters, by just hitting him with frivolous lawsuits and things like that. And, of course, the same lawyer that is representing the people suing him is the same lawyer that represents Mohammedan scumbags that have infested the UK as well. So, and we know that this is an individual, I'll just repeat it, who has no problem with handing over sensitive data to thugs, all right, so that they can go and harass children. But then again, this is what Mohammedans do. Now, I'm going to go ahead, Jeff. If you guys want a little bit more background, do go to tr.news and read the article, but also listen to the following. All right, the one you just heard was from the 18th. All right, this one and the one following it are from yesterday. Tommy put some stuff up yesterday, and I split this up into two parts because of BTR's way of handling long files, which it can't do that very well. So, Jeff, if you're ready, we will start this one. This one here is going to be 8 minutes and 38 seconds long. But, guys, this is definitely worth listening to because it'll set things up for you. You ready for it, Jeff?
Yeah, go for it, Dave.
All right. You guys are listening to the English Defence League radio show. Here we go.
Everyone saw this week the story of the Syrian refugee and the young boy called Bailey McLaren in Huddersfield. Nowhere. Nowhere. I remember watching as this story broke. And as soon as it broke, the newspapers tried to involve me in it. And I was sent messages after messages from other parents whose children go to that school. And the narrative that was being spun, that was being spread across the world, was of the poor Syrian refugee being bullied and violently attacked and driven out of his school. But that's not a message I was getting from other parents at the school. And very quickly, I received messages from a mother there about her daughter, who was gang attacked by a group, including Jamal. According to the mother, I've got all the copy of all of the evidence of all the messages after I spoke on the phone with this mother. And then very quickly, that mother was forced to retract her story, as threats to rape and murder her family were coming in online. So I wanted to go up to Huddersfield this week and speak to the mother of another child who was involved in an altercation with Jamal, the Syrian refugee. Your son goes to Ormond Bury High. What did you think when you first watched the video of the Syrian child, Jamal and Bailey?
First thing I thought is just two boys. That one lad said something to the other lad and he's gripped him, threw him to the floor and squirted him in the face. Bit of water, nothing to it.
I understand. I looked at his broken arm and I thought, why is no one talking about his broken arm? I believe your son, there was an involvement.
There was an involvement. He was saying stuff to me, saying stuff to him all day and calling me a white fat bitch.
Jamal was saying stuff to your son. How old was your son?
He's 12. He was 12 at the time. Then they got him in headlock. Then another year 11 pupil saw it and pushed him off him, and that's how he broke his arm, because he had my son in the headlock. So another child was protecting my child because he was getting bullied.
So Jamal So the start of this was Jamal was picking on your son.
Calling me white fat bitch.
Calling you.
A white fat bitch.
Making racial slurs.
Racial words to me, yeah.
About you, to your son.
Yeah.
And then he gripped your son in a headlock.
Yeah.
The age difference there, 15 to a 12-year-old. And then another boy in the school was pushed him out.
Pushed him off, and that's how he broke his arm.
And that's how he broke his arm. So, because I thought it amazing that none of the media...
It was how he broke his arm.
That's
and
how
Dyson had to go to the police station for an interview, and it got squashed because it got classed as an accident.
Because the other boy pushed him?
Yeah.
But that's... So why have none of the media spoke about how he broke his arm? Because he broke his arm... So, essentially, he broke his arm...
During the child?
During the bullying of a young child.
Yeah.
And none of the media spoke about it.
No.
What's your view on how the media have portrayed what's happened? As a parent in school.
Portrayed it, I think they've blown it way, way out of proportion. I think Syrian refugee, waterboarding, it's not. The waterboarding thing's really wound me up because it's not waterboarding.
Other children, other parents who you speak to around the estate, how do they feel? I'll tell you why.
A lot of people, what I've got back have said, Jamal is a little shit. He's not an innocent little boy like the way it's been portrayed. He's not an innocent little boy, no.
Well, because you say that sitting here in front of me. Another mother contacted me, sent me images of her daughter who was violently beaten up, and she told me specifically, and I'm being threatened to be sued by lawyers. She told me specifically, I have all the evidence that Jamal was involved in the beating up of her daughter.
I've seen that, yeah.
At that school.
Yeah.
But she's too scared.
There's a fair few people that he's bullied.
That Jamal has.
Yeah, but nobody will speak up. People need to speak up because what's happening at Baylor, he's getting made out to be the really bad bully, and Jamal is actually a bully.
For everyone who judges this 1 minute clip, the first thing you hear Bailey McLaren say is, "What are you saying now?" What are you saying now? So something's clearly been said before. It was time to sit down and speak to Bailey McLaren, who's currently living in hiding with his family, to find out just what happened before and after this incident unfolded.
Obviously, the clip that everyone's been shown that went viral, what's the backstory to that? I watched, and the first thing I saw you say is, "What are you saying now?"
Yeah. When it all started was when he actually, in the lesson before, he was gobbing it off to me, saying stuff, just laughed it all off kind of thing. And then I was sat in the dinner hall, and then one of his mates come up to me saying, "Oh, watch out, Bailey, he said he's going to stab you." So me being me kind of thing, I said, "Right, let me go confront him." Went up and was saying, "Oh, what are you saying now, da da da." And then that's what the video shows. But there were threats of getting stabbed, and I wasn't going to take it kind of thing. I wasn't going to be scared or intimidated kind of thing. But
and you'd had an argument. So you'd been arguing in the classroom before this?
Yeah, we were gobbing it off behind the teacher kind of thing. I just laughed it off kind of, and just left it.
So, because the way this has played out, Syrian refugee, what effect did the fact he was Syrian have on the situation? If
there were no race or anything like the media tried to put it out, it was just an issue between me and Jamal. So there was no race and no because of his religion.
Just another kid mouthing off two young children.
If it was anyone else, I'd have done the same.
Yeah. In the first couple of days of this incident, I was contacted by parent after parent in the school. I've met a parent this morning from your school, whose 12-year-old son goes to your school. The hockey stick incident.
Yeah, he attacked a girl with a hockey stick,
and that was reported to the school.
Yeah, which the girl has then had to be brought out of the school by her own mum and homeschooled because of it.
So a young girl being homeschooled because of what Jamal done.
Jamal has done, yeah.
And then there's another girl that was jumped by a few young Muslim girls, and I spoke with her mum.
Yep.
And I had all the screenshots and all the photos, and Jamal apparently was involved in this attack against their daughter. But so at school, because the other mother I spoke to this morning said at school, he's not innocent.
Not innocent at all. I think like the mother with which said her daughter got bit on the head by Jamal.
Yeah.
She's had then to say, well, kind of thing, because of the death threats and the rape threats.
Retract it because of death threats.
And the rape threats that she was getting.
You're 16.
Yeah, 16. Yeah.
You should be taking your GCSEs.
GCSEs, most crucial. Yeah, what I've actually been building up for for my GCSEs, to take my GCSEs for all my school life kind of thing. This is the main year which I should be getting my head down in school, but now I'm suffering from that.
When was this incident with Jamal?
6 weeks ago, around 6 weeks ago, yeah.
So there was you had this altercation 6 weeks ago. What happened at school about it?
The school said, so they left it kind of thing, and then I got brought in by the head teacher. He said, the thing you'll be getting is an hour detention. Left school that next day, at school that night, and he phoned up my grandma and said he's been excluded for 2 days. So then I'm thinking, alright, I'll be going back into school on the Monday. Then got a phone call and said, well, he's permanently excluded, he won't be allowed back into the school.
What did the teacher say, the head teacher? When you had a conversation with him about this incident,
He said, if this headline gets out, it's all messed up.
If the headline gets out?
Yeah.
So not to do with the incident, but if the headline gets out? As in?
Syrian refugee. I said, it's got nothing to do with that. He said, is it because of religion? I said, it's got nothing to do with that. I don't understand why this has been brought into the occasion.
And that is it for this time. Next time, part 2. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye.
The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2019. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, this is Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Join us for The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on SHR Media.
Why are they joining us?
For fun things like sports, politics.
Oh, maybe some news and entertainment?
And all kinds of other things.
Money and recipes and events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so join us Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. here on shrmedia.com.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
The new show on the SHR Media Network, Sackheads Against Tyranny. On shrmedia.com. Go there quick like a bunny, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. Live and direct on the SHR Media Network. shrmedia.com. Be there.
Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, a mere 2 miles from the state capital, the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. Eastern, only on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com to listen. You can also watch on the SHR Media Facebook page and the SHR Media YouTube channel. No goldfish were abused in the making of this ad.
Hey girls, Carry Girl Gear is here. More and more women every day are concealed carrying, participating in competitive shooting, and getting firearms training. It's not a boys' club anymore, and we don't have to shop in their stores anymore either. Finally, a cool and unique clothing line just for women. Dope tees and hats for the patriotic concealed carry and 2A girl. So what are you waiting for? Go check out carrygirlgear.com today.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.